Does this logo remind you of anything? This is Tubnet, a former Minecraft server that at one point was peaking player counts of 30. No, that's not a joke. Tubnet is owned by the popular Minecraft YouTuber Tubbo, and the server was arguably overhyped to the point that some individuals thought that it would overtake Hypixel, including me, but that wasn't the case at all whatsoever. And so just 2 weeks after initial release, despite constant advertisement by multiple content creators with millions of subscribers, the end of Tubnet seemed to be approaching quickly, and on the 8th of January, 2024, Tubnet announced that they would be closing indefinitely. And what exactly caused this inevitable downfall? Well, Tubnet featured many different aspects, which made it at one point a very enjoyable server to play. One of its most notable features was crossplay. Crossplay was a long-awaited feature by the players of Minecraft. It finally gave bedrock players a chance to play with their PC friends. Crossplay was also one of the main selling points of the server, and it momentarily worked. However, on release there was no crossplay, nor did it have plans on releasing soon, but we'll get into that later. Tubnet decided that bedrock players would have too much of an advantage, and it wouldn't be perfect at all. Therefore, the crossplay aspect was left out entirely. This was arguably one of the largest reasons Tubnet never saw huge amounts of success, but what followed didn't help at all. When the server eventually released, players began to very quickly realize the server lacked huge amounts of creativity within the games. To start with, Crystal Rush, Light Strike, and Spacebound, which are 3 games that were made to be released specifically on Tubnet, and people were super hyped about these games, but Tubnet decided not to release Spacebound, and they opted with 2 games that were essentially copies of Bed Wars and Valorant. Another game that was introduced at a later point was called Battle Royale. This mode did see temporary success and was by far their most popular mode, but it suddenly dropped off shortly after the release and games weren't even starting anymore, leaving it to die. Tubnet's player base felt it totally ignored because of this, and developers were in their own worlds not listening, which led to the quick fall of Tubnet. It may not make sense that all of these high-quality games didn't perform well, but that's because I never mentioned Tubnet experienced one of the largest DDoS attacks in the entire world, and even their DDoS protector, Cloudflare, couldn't handle it, even with the tens of thousands Tubbo spent on getting the protection. This would lead to the release being delayed much further, pretty much killing the initial hype that it had, meaning only a small number of players remained interested in release. There was one more secret aspect that killed the server, and that was the comparison of Tubnet to huge servers like Hypixel and MCCI. Tubnet simply didn't have the same opportunities that the server did. For example,
Hypixel
at one point had a huge Minecraft YouTuber event. A lot of you may remember it as Minecraft Monday. Tubnet did try to incorporate this within the server, however it clearly didn't help much, and now the server has an astonishing player count of, drumroll please, 1. Yeah, just 1. Now, as devastating as it seems, it gets worse when you hear that Tubbo has spent over $1 million on the server, which is an insanely large amount. It truly is unfortunate that he spent so much money on a server that didn't perform all that well. But before the video continues, it would mean a lot if you could subscribe, because that would be, I don't know why, but it says insert joke here, well, anyway. Now, as I said before, crossplay didn't end there. It was actually released, but not in the way you'd expect. It was very, very buggy. A clip circulated around on Twitter of a player being hit completely out of the normal Minecraft Java hitbox. As a lot of you may know, on Bedrock there is no set place for your crosshair. You can tap on the screen anywhere, so you're able to hit players right in the corner of your screen, which to Java players seems like you're cheating. Besides that, there were many other bugs, which is likely the reason crossplay was never officially announced. Who knows though, maybe with some better development and more promotion, the server could see some insane success, as this feature has never been seen before on a minigame server like Tubnet, especially since the Bedrock server space isn't as saturated as Java at the moment. I guess we'll never know. Due to everything that has happened, such as the DDoS attacks, competition, failed promises, and more, Tubnet has performed terribly and lost over $1 million. And with all of this going on, as mentioned, Tubnet has decided to close down their server until further notice. They wrote on Twitter just a day ago, "After careful consideration, we regret to announce that Tubnet servers will be on hiatus from January 12th. With this chapter ending, Tubnet lives on in other ways, shared by Tubbo in the future. However, for now, the memories and friendships created will be forever cherished." Make sure to subscribe and like, so hopefully Tubbo will watch this video and possibly get interviewed for an upcoming Flame video. Share this with all your friends so people know what's going on with Tubnet before they are closing their doors on the 12th of January. Farewell, Tubnet, and see you all in the next one.